would be such a treat. One of the best farmers in the history of the game on one of the best farming heroes. I know, you know, these games can get a little slower paced, but to me, that's what I want to see.
All right, and the last ban's coming out. What do these tell us about IG and Secret rounding out their lineup?
I think it's safe to say that there's no techies pick up in this game.
I do wonder.
It's not looking like it.
No.
If I remember correctly, yesterday Luo ran a short lane Queen of Pain. So you could even consider some kind of contestment with these three heroes on the side of IG.
I think it's a support Naga though. I don't,
you do?
Yeah, I think the Leshrac deals with a core Naga actually pretty easily. Firstly, they have a few spells that can kill people through sleep. The Pulse Nova, you can snowball on someone, Razor's ult, and Shadow Demon Poison can still, you know, kill people, and Demonic Purge. So, like that's when you're playing Naga Center, you want to feel completely safe whenever you farm. You can just sleep TP out every single time, and a lot of times it's just not possible. You get caught up by SD, you're just dead. Edict will still go off as well. I mean, there's just so many things, and it's nice to counter-initiate the Tusk Snowball. I'm not exactly sure why they picked up the Naga Center. You did mention it's a great BKB counter, but I think it's far too risky, and I think Secret's early game is way too good to go in for a core Naga.
I do think it's a Leshrac meant to be on the middle lane with the Shadow Demon just setting it up for.
Okay. Shadow Demon doing its own work around the map with the Lesh sitting in mid and the Bounty Hunter coming out for Secret.
Should be Kuroki Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, this is really nasty. And they're going to be looking to get a lot of early kills with that Tusk, and I mean, provided that bounty gets to 6 at any reasonable time, they can just snowball in the mid game. I agree now. I think the Bounty Hunter pick pushes me more toward a support Naga, because I think that the core Naga is not going to have time to get Radiance online.
I don't really know how IG is going to handle the Razor, though. They don't really have a good matchup. All those heroes have targeted spells versus unstable.
Very true, and the Tidehunter being the last pick here for IG. So, looks like Secret maybe still getting kind of the game they want here in game number 2. They may very well go 2-0 to face EG in the finals, but we'll have to find out. Nothing's decided yet until we jump into the game with the casters over on the desk.
That's right. Number 2, Invictus Gaming up against Secret. I'm Toby One here with Cinderin to bring us our last, potentially, game of the semi-final. Invictus Gaming, man, you look at the draft.
Welcome to the TI2 time machine.
It really does.
What I'm just thinking here when I see
all we're missing is a Morphling from their lineup, and it will feel really, really comfortable.
Good old Naga Tidehunter combination, and I think it's going to be a core Naga. I haven't really seen a pick what. It's still, no, it's actually impossible that there's anything else now. Unless they swap around, it's got to be burning on it this game.
Melanie was right with his points, though.
Yes,
like, the Naga Siren is very heavily countered by the way Team Secret play, but you also know the effect that the burning Naga Siren can have. Like, he can farm very, very quickly, but as the boys on the panel were saying, it's all about the timing. How long is it going to take before burning is effective for IG?
I think this time around, IG will... I don't think they'll make the early mistakes they did in the laning stage of the last game. And if they don't do that, they're in for a much better, let's say, minute 10 to 15, which is where Secret in the last game managed to get Arteezy his good farm that set up for the Battle Fury and ultimately allowed him to snowball very much. This time around, I think IG have... they're feeling more comfortable with their draft. This is a very IG-esque draft. And if they get the lanes they're looking for, and if they manage to especially shut down Kuroki on the Bounty Hunter, he will be very weak in the mid portion of the game against this kind of team fight.
Puppey hanging in the trees right next to IG, and well, they ping out and say he's there. Chuan coming close towards the tower. Will take one hit from the tower. But Secret don't really have any major desire to fight up against them. Maybe they could isolate one with the shards. But there's no risk they really have to take. You're not going to battle into a Tidehunter. You could have severe problems going up against both the Riptide as well as Scream, not to mention the stuns and the control of telekinesis. So they'll just give up the bottom rune. That means Arteezy can take the top rune. Ferrari's going to take the bottom. And everything would just slowly move its way into the lanes.
Yeah, this mid matchup is definitely one to watch. It's one of the matchups that that Queen of Pain can lose. Generally, Ferrari doesn't lose on this hero in the mid lane, but playing up against the Leshrac, it is definitely possible, as looks like they will be moving S4 to the off lane on Razor. Been a while since I've seen him playing that lane. He is, of course, not playing flat one-on-one. There will be a Bounty Hunter of Kuro helping him out, and just looking at this matchup in general, just Tide versus Razor is unwinnable for Tide. He gets completely destroyed, and you throw a Bounty Hunter with an Orb of Venom in the mix, Luo is going to have a horrible laning stage. But what's the trade-off? IG will be helping out Ferrari a bit in the mid lane with Tron as it looks for starters, and then they play the Naga Lina bottom lane, which I feel like that's a pretty even lane, honestly.
It kind of does feel that way. At the same time, if you could isolate like Faith from burning, you could find yourself with a kill potential at least. In this middle lane, I'm wondering just how much work Chuan can do, because Kuro is going to stalk him to the ends of the earth. He's already got this Orb of Venom harassing Chuan down. He's even forced to use a telekinesis to buy himself some space. While up on top lane, S4 just has to go for static cling. Normally meant to have a great time. Wait, okay, there's those shards and Faith being the one to be harassed. But normally you're able to come in with Tidehunter, you anchor smash down, you always have the damage advantage, but how do you do this up against a hero like a Razor who can just static link you, and you can't run away? You're Tidehunter, you take a while to walk anywhere.
Mid lane, Kuro's going to go for Ferrari, but they already whiffed the stun from Arteezy. If that one lands, that could be the first shot.
On bottom node and into a snowball, Face in trouble. Zai's right behind him. First blood goes to Zai. Burning wants revenge. He's got 4 1 charges available, but it won't be enough to find mana, and he cannot come that deep underneath the tier 1 tower.
And this lane is a very, very big deal. The Tusk will be getting level 3 in a moment.
He's already got bottle. We're not even 2 minutes in, he's managed to buy a bottle.
And their kill potential is going to ramp up very quickly in this lane. Faith will have a harder and harder time being down here together with Burning. And if they don't get good farm in the Naga from the start, they're not going to have a very good mid-late game. So I think IG might be considering at this point whether it's worth it for Chuan to be up here. I guess they feel forced so that Luo doesn't get completely run over in his lane. At least with Chuan up here pulling, forces Kuroki to focus a little bit on him.
Watch him too.
And yep, he's got
it is that time. The little pudgeling is coming out. And if Kuro can take this out, then this middle lane is just fully crippled. And it is waiting. It is waiting very patiently. On the top of the hill. Good boy. Sit, Boo-Boo, sit. Bottom lane, yeah. Burning. Snowball's going to come after him. Puppy's still right behind him with the poison, but not enough damage on him yet. So here comes Chuan. Like, he is now basically the magical courier for Invictus Gaming.
They're actually waiting. It's been standing there for like 30, 40 seconds. They're waiting till 3 minutes.
Arteezy's done a full bottle charge. They wait for the 3-minute mark. Arteezy's done a full bottle charge, sends it back already, and he's basically a full bottle time in front of him. Bottom lane, disruption again, going to go to work. And it's keeping Faith out of this lane. It's making sure there's no combo. Oh, Koro, he's actually here again, waiting for it. Puppy Dog, come to his arms. Does he have enough damage? He can reach it, but 3 HP. That's all he had.
Man, if that Orb of Venom dealt damage to the courier, it would have actually died. But it doesn't. Only slows it down, but doesn't finish it off entirely. And that's actually a pretty big deal. Kuro committed so much time into this. Sure, Luo is still losing the top lane, but not as much as he could be. He's actually 14 CS against the 21 of the S4 Razor, which I think is a pretty solid performance from Luo in this game after his offlane last game did not work out too well with his Bristle versus Tusk. He was even safe lane.
Do you have confidence? There's 2 poisons over on Chuan at the moment, so follow-up stun. Light Strike Ray will control Zai for the moment. He's got 3-1 charge. They'll give enough for shards. They need to throw it out on top of Ferrari. Can he get the last hit? The answer is no. Ferrari will run inside the pit. He's actually buying up all of his items so he can deny himself to Roshan, and that will in fact happen. So it shows us 2 for 1, but it's in fact a straight trade up.
He lost 7 gold.
Massive.
Just letting you know.
This is the reason why we cast together, Sind. You notice the details.
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering if you could make that sound really exciting.
No.
I feel like I didn't manage that.
It could have been epic, it could have been amazing. But it was actually crap. All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Got your back, bro.
So what are we looking at for the lane so far? Secret, they have the CS advantage currently with both Razor and Lishrak out farming the counterparts, but then at the same time, Zai only 13 CS on the Tusk to the, I guess 18 is the
Top
comparison. Yeah, Luo is in a lot of trouble. I think he's actually going to live.
For now, but they also just brought Puppy to the top lane, so you're salving up, but you've only got boots and 2 tangos. There's no way, like even with 2 points up in Kraken Shell, to hold off with the damage of Razor. He's got phase boots already available, and now in comes Puppey. Starts with a catcher, wants to follow up with some poison. Now in comes your Janata attack, or should from Kuro. If he doesn't even have it, he's only level 1. But the Plasma Field into Luo. They need more damage, but they just don't have it. Where was that Janata? Faith, he might be hoping to go for a stray Light Strike array, while Arteezy very deep behind the tier 1 tower in mid. Lets the Lightning go with the Pulse Nova. Chuan has to back up. Lightning's back off cooldown, and Ferrari knows one Lightning Bolt, he'll die. At the same time, Kuro is escorting Faith through the jungle. It is the darkened escort.
That is not a friendly escort. More like forcing him to go back to base. But as you were pointing out, Kuro would have loved to have a Janata there. He's level 1 minute 6. So this roaming bounty hunter has really not had the impact that he was hoping for. I think maybe this could work. They don't have the damage, I think. Well, maybe.
With Disruption, they can slow him down a little bit, but
this isn't happening.
Yeah, that Orb of Venom, like, the slow is not enough.
Kraken Shell is just so good against these fairly low damage heroes in the beginning. Both Bounty and Shadow Demon don't hit that hard, and as a result, I think if you look over the supporting cast, it's definitely an advantage for IG experience-wise, but it's made up for by the lead the cores have, simply. As now, well, speaking of cores, Arteezy is going to be a dead core. Who's going to get the kill, though? It's going to go to Ferrari.
Yeah. Faith, though, took a lot of damage in order to make that happen, and they did 2 hero smoke out with Chuan and Faith. But a successful rotation for IG, where Secret just haven't found the same opening. But most of it is being addressed. Like, your Razor is building into this early, what I'm assuming is going to be a mech.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It really should be a mech. And what are you then looking for a Leshrac? You got 500, 600 gold for Arteezy. He's got a lot to work with. Tusker, early on's already managed to find level 6, so he's got a lot to work with.
Arteezy bought a Sage's Mask very early here. I guess it's just a Soul Ring build-up into Bloodstone. It's got to be. I was getting excited for a second for maybe something a bit different. I was thinking maybe Yules, maybe he had another plan with it, but like maybe just a casual Bassi or something. But it's got to be Bloodstone he's planning for.
Yules may be not as bad when you look at Ferrari if he was going for a quick Orchid, but with a double Null Talisman on Ferrari, you can see he's supporting more for like the ultimate. Yeah, these Observer Wards are watching the movement.
Puppey was playing the fake there. He was just standing still, pretending that he didn't know they were coming in. As both teams did have really good vision in this area for this fight to break out, but IG, they get cold feet, they back out. I think it was definitely the right play in that situation as well. And well, I've been focusing on the farm, and Burning has managed to do a pretty good job now. He's actually the same CS as the Leshrac now, after that bottom lane did not go as intended in the beginning. I think IG's game plan is going all right.
Burning, Haste Rune, walking right underneath that fresh Radiant Observer Ward, so they saw it being picked up and they're seeing what Burning's up to. He just walks inside the pit to hide from vision, but S4 is completely alone. Like, they've actually left him to his own devices on the top. Zai is still having a great time. His TP only just came back off cooldown, but it means if IG are going to initiate, they're probably going to be in range of that tier 1 tower of mid. So you'll instantly have both S4 and Zai come to the engagement. And IG are aware of this, so they just start a smoke train. A very unhealthy expedition, but they will be moving up towards the top, trying to find S4. S4 moves around, breaks the smoke, and is right in front of him. He is dead. The Plasma Field might do a little bit of damage, but he can't even get it off in time. Great gang for IG, and they bring down the Razor. At the same time, Ferrari might be in trouble with Puppey. No, he can't reach him. Trying to get closer to get that disruption off so they can fall into the straight split earth.
This early game for the Secret supports is just not working out the way they want. Like, I mean, you can look at the gold lead they had, which was almost 1,500, and say, well, that looks like a solid early game. But when it's distributed the way it is, you have 3 cores that are doing well, but the supports are so far behind that how are you going to initiate into a team fight with a Shadow Demon and a Bounty Hunter? How are you going to have a major impact against this extreme Spellburst lineup that IG are running in the mid game? You can just song into Ravage, and those 2 heroes are just gone. Like, they don't even get a chance to make a counterplay. So this is worrying for Secret, I think, the way this game's going.
You're talking about low net worth Bounty Hunter. He's only 2.5 levels.
With net worth, I meant experience, but both. Yeah. Basically both.
Yeah. He's just so far behind. Like, when is this track meant to appear as well? And it's not just for the money, it's for the vision. And the movement speed bonus. Because Razor wants to have that in drove, so does Leshrac. So there is no running from them. And we get a whole bunch of Trez now arriving, as well as the Arcane Boots coming in for Leshrac.
Well, this could be big for Kuro if he wants to claim this rune. I There's no dire vision on this right now, so they won't see him taking it. And the absolute biggest play he can make right now is to take that and counter Luo at his stack. If he could manage to kill him in case Luo does get low, he is, however, going to play it safe for now.
And it gives it to
bottling up. Yeah. Probably the better choice after all. And, well, if Luo gets this, it's definitely going to be a golden experience advantage all of a sudden for IG as, well, never mind that. Maybe these 3 double stacks for Secret are going to be enough and going to give Kuro some much needed experience on this bounty hunter as he will split that 50-50 with Arteezy.
And that takes him up to level 4.
Yeah, solves quite a bit of the problems. He is still not the level he wants to be, but at the very least, it's not a complete disaster anymore as far as his leveling goes.
All right, so with still in this bottom lane, he's gotten quite a large chunk of farm here as the Tusker. What's the best item progression for him? Are we looking for just stats? Are we looking for initiation? What's the go?
I think Glimmer Cape again is really good in this type of game. It's a good counterplay to Song of the Siren into Ravage. You get to save, more or less, keep one hero safe during that combination. It's a very good item against Lina, who will definitely not be getting an Axe this game for the pure damage ult since it's played on Faith on support. Oh, maybe somewhere down the line, but let's be realistic, not in the first, 30 minutes, most likely. And it's a very good item together with Lesh on the same team. It allows him to move in and out of the fights and get his damage out.
Well, he'll have I would say have a little bit more money if you can find this kill on Luo. He's got support. That's the smoke movement of Arteezy and Puppey, but they actually just come over and look over towards the dire Ancients, which will no longer spawn. With an observed ward player there, they were able to block it up. So no more easy farming for a Tidehunter to get up to that blink dagger he's searching for. At the same time, S4 completes up the mech. So team fight advantage for the moment is going to go the way of Team Secret.
Do you think so?
Even with Song of the Siren, I don't think the Naga currently doesn't anyway have enough mana to do anything. Maybe it'll be a different story when Naga Siren is able to pick up that remaining 800 to get the relic, because she's very close to the Radiance build. And then I'll start to chip away at the SD and the Bounty Hunter, who just don't have the stats to survive.
You know, usually at 12 minutes in, when one team has a mech and the other doesn't, I would definitely side with the mech team for team fights. But it's, once again, the supports are not that strong, and I think if Secret are looking to take a team fight and win it, they need some really sick snowball plays out of Zai to dodge some of this incoming spell damage that IG will be pumping out. So I'm not sure it's as clear-cut as that. The mech, if nothing else, will maybe disallow IG from making the aggressive team fight play, but I definitely think they can win the defensive one.
Well, it looks like we're not going to find out anyway, as everyone has basically backed themselves up. There may be an attempt here on the mid, but again, it all comes down to the fact that Puppey has to get the disruption off, but he can't do the combo with S4. He still needs to have Arteezy there to have the split earth, because obviously S4 not having any stuns. Player's going to clean up the dire camp, so now they can at least start stacking that one again. But the mid push is coming in. 3 points up in that Edict. So the damage to the tower will be quite considerable if they can just mop up the wave and attack in. There is fortification available for IG. So Arteezy, yeah, he just goes directly into the Edict, at least burns the fortification of IG. And Ferrari hangs around looking for the last deny. He can't get it. So Arteezy will find the hit in the tower. This opens up a little bit more map space, but it's the first tier 1 tower down at map 2.
Perfect timing on the push there. IG were actually looking for a smoke play, and they're too late. And Arteezy gets it for free as it looks. It's even going to break here as they won't even find any hero. It got broken by Zai in the river, so really nice here for Secret. Arteezy, he needs to be careful.
Yeah,
Gush is available. He is probably dead here.
Well, unless there's a snowball that can get in time, which there is not. The Sigil was trying to slow IG's movement. Now with the shards, Faith, Chuan actually able to steal the ice shards instead of taking out the Sigil.
And this is going to bring both of IG's supports to level 6. So Secret supports have almost caught up, or they actually had until that gank on experience. And it's really important for Kuro to get this track now. So even if the fight doesn't go entirely their way, they might be able to break even with, say, a 3-for-4 trade or something like that on gold. And getting Demonic Purge on Shadow Demon is never a bad thing, although looking over the IG heroes in this game, it's not the greatest compared to if you're picking Shadow Demon into a very mobility-dependent melee core.
Oh, Ravage top lane has started off with Chuan. S4 down low. Plasma Field being stolen. He needs more time to run away with a Blink Sonic Wave stream. Perfect from Ferrari. Chuan surviving on 37 HP. But then again, can he? Kuro's right behind him. He's going to track first, kill second. getting the snipe off while the shards making it so burning and Luo hard to chase. No song on the siren being turned on. So the TP successful, snowballing away from Zai. Now his TP out. Are they in range for the song? No, they're not. They get away with murder, but it's only a revenge murder. But on bottom lane, Arteezy's taking out a tier 1 tower. It really is just turning into one of these games again. Secret, they're playing so much better across the map. At least in this trade-off. Previously, it was IG rotating better.
They've taken 3 towers and IG haven't claimed any. And I think it's not that big of a concern for IG as long as Burning is farming, which is the case.
Dagger on Zai, pull up, and then the instant kill.
He is gone.
That's that Blink Dagger into Walrus Punch. They keep the stuns going. And they even ensured it with a Shuri Toss. They want to have every single stun, even if it's just a mini one, to make sure Ferrari can't blink. Speaking of that, hello Blink, but Ravage just went on cooldown for 80 seconds.
There's still a good timing window here for Secret to put some pressure. I don't think they're scared of fighting when both Quap is dead and Ravage is down. They also know that Sonic Wave is down.
Blink in, jump in, perfect from Zai, catching Faith, catching Chuan. They're both going to drop to the world. And that means this tier 2 tower is secure. They might be able to do damage to the tier 3. It's a little early, but they do have a fairly farmed Leshrac.
This tower is definitely gone.
It's just how much further they go. And they're actually coming back.
No way they hold that.
Are they going for... Well, Puppy could. The second TP can't come in time. Yeah, Luo is just going to back himself up. And Arteezy... I mean, sorry, S4. Secret keep doing this on their course. They pick up one of these big utility items like a mech, and then they go into a hand of minus before a 20-minute mark. So this time it's over on the Razor.
Now there's 4 towers claimed by Secret. They're looking to expand their lead even more. Curious to see what way Zai goes. I was considering the Glimmer Cape for him earlier. The Blink Dagger already proved to be a really good choice as he found those 2 kills in mid. And will he go for the Glimmer now or something entirely different? What does he usually go? He goes for that. He goes for Solar Crest. I think those are his 2 most picked up items on his utility tusk, so it's probably going to be either of those, or they try to start itemizing more to counter the Naga, but I don't know if there's any item for Tusk that is really good for that, that is not ridiculously expensive. He's going to get an Ogre Club.
Maybe just BKB.
So, yeah, I think that's a BKB build-up, and Secret's game plan this time around will be revolving more around BKBs than last time.
Is there any reason to potentially go in for something like, well, you're already going to Blink Dagger, so you're not going to go Silver Edge?
I don't think so. Ferrari bottom. He has blinked already. He is going to get punched as well. The follow-up is enough.
Only just. They kept the stuns going, but the blink, the cooldown was Ferrari's worst enemy.
And the map again being split by Secret. They are really just taking so much control. Look at how even this game was for the first 15 minutes, and just in the last 5, Secret have really found a lot on this map. And
the rotations are amazing.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not even just a rotation to find a kill. It's the fact they understand that even if you don't get a kill when they move down to bottom lane, if it happens, it happens. If they force a reaction from IG, then they just make more space. It's smoke and mirrors. We basically dangle a kill on bottom. Maybe we find it, maybe we don't. Doesn't matter, because we're going to take the tier 2 tower on top. Best case scenario, you take kill and you take tower.
Now we need to consider for Secret what the win timing is here. They are, of course, playing against the Naga. They're playing against the Tidehunter, who later on will probably be able to get a refresher orb if this game goes late. And Queen of Pain has proven to be pretty good in late game situations as well in this tournament and the ones before it. So I'm wondering if Secret are looking to push the base before minute 30, or if they feel confident just keeping on farming up and that Leshrac will be able to deal with Naga later on. S4 at least did go for the Midas on Razor, which is very unusual for him. I think he's one of the core players in the world that pick up this item the very least. He seems to always prefer active items or really high value stats for his money.
Just judging by the items which are coming up from Secret, like buying BTs over on Arteezy this early on, before he goes for anything else after the Bloodstone, I think it actually goes back to what Ben was saying, what Melanie was saying on the panel. The Secret feel like they can counter up everything that this Naga Siren's going to do, so why care about it? Get your BKB so you can deal with both Naga Song as well as the Tidehunter Ravage. And what other damage is really going to come your way? Probably not much. S4 baits on the front lines. Chuan, Ellisfield, Battlefield, Zai right in the back. Here comes your Ravage from Luo. It's heavily. S4's already down, and joining him is Zai. Not the greatest initiation, and Puppy's on the way back out. Ferrari, great chase, finds Puppy. And it's a double kill for Ferrari.
Really, really good jump in there from Luo, getting that Ravage at the right time. And this could transition into a bottom tier 1 maybe for IG.
It can't, because look at top. TZ's pushing in. The second that fight started, he realized it wasn't going to go well. Like, he BT'd himself up.
I think we might be able to hold that with 1 hero and push bottom with 4, but...
Maybe?
It's a 20-second window. There is a glyph for Secret. And I'm not sure if IG even want to try for it. They might be looking to find Kuro, but I don't think they have the sentries in the right place. They might not even have a sentry at all.
There's a sentry down for Kuro, so he knows he's not being watched, and he's right behind Luo. You have no Ravage on this guy, no Sonic Wave to help him. The Shuri toss is hurting like hell, and with the catcher potentially purged from Huppy available, moves to the outside of the trees, away from the vision of Ferrari. Luo, TP out, not going to happen. Zai comes in the Walrus punch, and they will bring down the Tidehunter.
Meanwhile, Arteezy was looking to get the split push going, but IG overrun him as well here with 4 heroes. So 1-for-1 trade. They get the Lesh, who has a Bloodstone, so will be respawning faster than the Tide.
They control.
I feel like this is good enough for IG. Even though they're 5 towers behind, they are still executing the Naga strat and can make it back in.
I would worry they can't execute it right now. They committed Song of the Siren to kill off Arteezy. It's down for 83 seconds. You have no Ravage for a minute. Secret have a window of opportunity here where they can push in through bottom. There is fortification available for IG, and they will in fact burn it straight away. So it's up to Secret right now. They will take out the remaining outer tower of Invictus Gaming, but if they can find themselves a kill, for example, a lone Rubik or a Ferrari who is getting very, very close to S4, they can just push down and go in. But the window is closing quickly, 35 seconds. And in fact, there it is. Chuan, pick up, throw him down. He steals Lightning, but already been punched up to the air, can't get it off. Luo comes in close, but there's very little he can do here. And with no fortification, I think this is high ground time then.
I think that's a bold play, but they might just want to go for it now.
Yep.
I think it's going to get harder in the next 10 minutes, so maybe they feel like this is the best chance they have. 20 seconds on Rubik.
8 seconds on Ravage. 8 seconds on Ravage. That's the critical timer we're watching.
I think they got to get out of this. This is going to be too hard now.
They've lost the creep wave. The top lane's being pressured by Burning. Just back it up and farm up the lanes. And Invictus Gaming, it is really difficult to get in there. And you hit the nail on the head. Like, Secret could look at this saying it's going to get a lot more difficult to go a high ground later. Controlling the lanes is still fairly easy, primarily just because the fact Arteezy can get rid of these Naga illusions very quickly and has already the boots of travel, so he can move very freely around the map. But Invictus Gaming's higher ground defense is really, really solid. This will not be an easy or a quick game unless IG make a mistake.
Absolutely, but the same could be said the other way. I think it's going to be hard for IG to take full control of this game until Naga gets very big. So they have to play for the late game. I think if IG wins, we're looking at what could be close to an hour, or maybe at least 45 minutes before they feel confident pushing the other way. And you see, as we talked about, S4 with his Midas build-up, looks like that is his plan this time around, is to become big at that point in time. He doesn't feel like they can win the game early enough with items, so he's going to look for some bigger ones later on to fight the Naga.
I'm wondering if this is also one of the rare games we see from a Razor, at least these days. It was more common back in the old days that you go for something like the Agadim's Refresher Orb. If it's so hard coming up high ground, maybe you require this to take out the racks and take the fight.
It is possible, but that would leave him without BKB, unless we're looking at like a 4 or 5 slot inventory.
Well, that's where the minus kicks in, isn't it?
Well, if he does go for that, that's still going to be 40, 45 minutes. He'll have those items, and then, you know, what does IG have at that point is the question.
Yeah.
This is a close game right now. 4,000 experience and 5,000 gold lead for Secret. It doesn't feel like that tight of a game. And you need to remember, they have claimed 6 towers. So in terms of unclaimed gold, should IG manage to get just these tier 1s and maybe 1 tier 2, they're evening it out and have then ultimately got more out of the map than Secret with 6 towers and track on their side.
It's actually just checking IG to see if they had Medallion or something along these lines that'll help them bring down Roshan.
Well,
the Medallion gets picked up by, in fact, Kuro on the wrong team for Invictus Gaming, because they do still have like the greatest team to go in and control Roshan. I'm not saying to kill Roshan, just to control him. So maybe they can grab that Aegis Immortal and just slip into the fight. But Arteezy getting so much money, 3,800 with the Void Stone. Zai, well done, that's a tree. That's, in fact, a bushel of trees that you cannot get out of for the moment.
He's probably going to roll down this when S4 finds it for him.
No, he's waiting for the blink dagger.
Yeah, it's probably better. Took too long.
Don't worry, no one saw it.
So
Puppy with a gem pickup.
Ferrari's actually going to have a Hex and 100 gold. So he's going for the build that we saw Fata do yesterday, which isn't really seen very frequently anymore, which is the Hex first on Queen of Pain. It's pretty late, minute 25, but he does have 2 nulls to boot, and Tresson has, of course, died 3 times. So will not be the fastest timing, but still a very impactful item, going to give them even more potential in their team fights, and a way of initiating where the problem is if they song into Ravage, the BKBs can always be popped by Secret. This will allow them to open in a different way and use the song more defensively, or as, well, basically force out BKB, then song, then kill the isolated target.
Yep. It was the rework of Naga's song, which is why we mentioned at the very, very start. It reminds us a lot of TI2, but back in those days, you could move the units around that were caught inside the Song of the Siren, so you could use Darkseer Vax, you could use Ravagers, and now they cannot be touched until you turn it off. So you have that timing in between it all. And Secret is hunt time. So a trip smoke.
How many BKBs do they have? They have 1 on Ortizi and 1 on Zai. So none on Razor, who has bought the Ogre Club. So S4 needs to decide now if he wants to buy his Ags or build up for the BKB. Well, we're looking for something here. Puppy wants to be the frontliner. And he finds...
jump in. Maybe there's enough. Chuan getting stunned up to start with. Puppy being thrown back, but Chuan already down for the count. The Song of the Siren. Zai can be isolated here because he has the BKB up. They can snare him. Ferrari has the Sonic Wave as well as having that Hex, but not enough life to really stay on the front lines. And now the Yule Scepter up, saving the leaner was a self-Yules. And Arteezy, the Pulse Nova, carving apart RG's life until the Sonic Wave combo. S4 kept alive by the Glimmer Cave, defended Disruption and Snowball. They can't even find a target to hit. The Snowball up and around. I think he's got lost. His 3 heroes back under the tier 4 towers from House Secret will basically lay claim to the IG base. The Poison for a kill, the tie down as well. It is only Ferrari, the only man alive. He comes back up for the scream, wants Arteezy, claims Arteezy, but he'll lose his life for this one. He's so far out, blink 1 second, and he doesn't have time. Chuan's back the wall, the living 2. But what a cost to defend. They lose so many. But they did bring down Arteezy, so this push does come to a halt for the moment. But Nadesec can see he's back up again and can BT the front lines.
That fight was so close. Multiple of Secret's heroes just on 200 health for what seemed to be 10 or 15 seconds in that fight. And
Snowball disruption.
I think IG might have underestimated how much damage they could actually output with their combo. Luo really didn't want to make a bad Ravage, and it is of course a very high pressure situation. If he goes for a bad Ravage, they could lose the Rex and maybe even almost the game off one big mistake, so wants to play it safe there. They used the song to destroy the Sigil and to counter the BKB of Zai, but it didn't kill him, so ultimately didn't get that much out of the song apart from just those 2 things. And Secret just had a little bit more in the tank for that fight.
You just see what happens though, like when you pop off your combo and then you pull everyone into the Snowball, or Puppy was able to defensively disrupt himself and then jump into the Snowball after he did that. Like, that's just so problematic for IG that you throw out your combo and then you have to have a follow-up after it. For the moment, with Tyler to Ravage down, Secret feel like they can just pop into the pit. And they should be able to quickly kill off Roche, but at the same time, Invictus Gaming, a 5-man smoke, primarily for movement speed, so they can get here in time. Burning, Song of the Siren, where these BKBs? Out comes the Song, Roshan at 2k life, they're coming in. Remember, there's no Ravage, would be a good anchor smash in this area. Ferrari, Wave still on cooldown too, Battlefield, Kuro's low, and where is your damage output? Chuan's already gone down, Arteezy on the BKB, Burning gets mopped up, Kuro sits inside the pit, they're taking out 3, there is just no reaction from IG. They set up, but had no follow-through. Where was the damage meant to come from? No Sonic Wave, no Ravage.
I think they just wanted to try to snipe the Roche there, going for a song, and then if Roche is low enough, they could try to steal it. When they were like, it looked like they were doubting themselves, can we kill Roche, can't we? And they start hitting him a little bit, and then they're like, okay, we're not going to be in time, let's try to get the hell out of there. And they're just way too far in, and it's way too late. And I think that is one of those super high-risk plays where you have to look at the risk-reward ratio, and it's really not worth it. Like you said, no Ravage, no Sonic Wave, so the only possible way I can see them winning that fight is if they song perfectly, get the Aegis, and then get some sort of value even out of the Aegis, because they didn't have their tools, and now they lose Roche, 3 heroes, and a Rax instead of just a Roche.
Well, if you're going to do that, you should have sent in your illusions to get the vision. Then maybe you would have a little bit more information to work on the timing. Right now, Secret are taking their advantage forward. The Glimmercake keeps Arteezy up. Remember, he's got the Aegis and the Immortal to work with, and there's a fresh Desolator over on Zai. The Yule Scepter on Arteezy, that's his new little baby. And Burning trying to battle directly up against him. Arteezy, he's out of mana for the moment. Bloodstone will start to regenerate bit by bit, but he'd like just the Aegis, the Immortal to pop if he can just soak up a little bit more damage here from Invictus Gaming. In comes Zai with the BKB. He's killed off Luo. He has to buy back. The Ravage is available, but Ferrari blinks away. 100 life. Arteezy still on the front lines and still is holding on to this Aegis Immortal. Not to mention Yule Scepter. They get through the melee ranks, and Secret don't need to stick around here any longer unless they're searching for kills. The range ranks is a little bit of something, but it's not that much. They can just back it up and wait for IG to come to them.
That's a full lane of racks for them. This is a really big deal. The only thing we really see come out for IG after this fight is going to be the Manta style on Burning, which is something, but it just seems like if they hadn't gone for that Roche fight and maybe just played it defensively and maybe held, they would not have lost their racks yet. Burning would have had the Manta, and it's very unusual, I think, for IG to go for plays like that. They feel so comfortable when they have their Naga, even giving a bit of space away to the enemy, knowing that Burning come mid-late game is so good at splitting the map and getting them back into it, but the pressure might just be getting to them.
Be careful.
And now he's in trouble too. Oh my lord, the burst.
The snowball controlled him perfectly. Now Arteezy, he knows exactly what he's up against. Runs in, Yule Scepter up, the Pulse Nova's doing some work, and Burning, Song of the Siren. He just wants to get out of this one. Actually, he has the TP cancelled, and he is just running himself away. So the Song of the Siren is down. Ravage is still available. And with a fresh blink over on the Rubik, they have some initiation at the same time. The same thing came out for Puppey. The blink dagger is on the ST.
Secret might be looking for the second lane here. This could be a little bit dangerous. As you said, they have Ravage available. Track is going to be stolen by Chuan. Can definitely help them out too, as Arteezy going in really aggressively. He just wants to make sure he uses his Aegis.
There's Faith. He's trying to soak up the Laguna Blade if possible, but the snowball down. Rubik just gets crushed until now the Ravage comes in. Ferrari with the Sonic Wave for the SC Disruption. Well, won't keep S4 alive, but Zai looping himself out of here. He cannot battle on Luo, but Arteezy, he's the man looking for it. Watch that Aegis, the Immortal timing, as he just keeps pulse nerving through him. Now it's going to pop out. Zai still doesn't want to come back into it, but can Arteezy escape? No BKB charge. Has his own Yule Scepter. Puppey with the defensive disruption. Gives more Arteezys up in the air. Luo back down to earth. Pulse over lightning. Luo alive. 6 HP dropped down to the last attack. It's going to reach it from the track. Arteezy with a double kill, and only one player. Again, it is Ferrari, the last man standing for Invictus Gaming. And soon it's going to be the top Rax as the last thing standing inside of Invictus Gaming base. And Kuro's going in for more. The track's on Ferrari. The blink down. The Yule Scepter already onto the track, but a Walrus punch. They find Chuan. Maybe this is it. Ferrari's down for the count. You have the leaner, but disruption's already happening. Arteezy has no stun. He evades, so he doesn't display. Down to 69 life, and that's GG. Secrets will be facing Evil Geniuses in the grand final of the ESL One Frankfurt.
Once again, they simply, I don't know, they just outplayed them again.
Absolutely. Phenomenal performance from Team Secret once again. IG, as mentioned, had 1 or 2 questionable decisions that really cost them. But at the end of the day, when you look at these fights and just the detail that goes into every decision and every move and how they position themselves, Secret just seemed one step ahead in most of the fights. And the thing IG needed to play for, which was Burning's comeback, just came too late. And I just want to say, this game, Tusk, Zai, what an outstanding performance. So many good initiations, so much control in fights. Just, this is how you play that hero. That was really, really good to watch.
And Secret playing some high class